Okay, I want to tell you a couple of jokes. And they're funny, but they actually illustrate, for instructive purposes, what's going on in Ukraine. Well, more what's going on in Russia than Ukraine. So I saw this in Italy 24 News. Putin, Prigozhin, and the plane hasn't taken off yet. It's a joke about Prigozhin and Putin and what happened there. And it would have been funnier if I said this 2 weeks ago, but I only saw it shortly after the event, and then it just got drowned out by other events. But bear with me. So this article says it's become a case joke told by Albanian Prime Minister Ed Ramat at the Bled Conference Forum in Slovenia in front of hundreds of people and prime ministers of Croatia, Montenegro, Serbia, Bulgaria, North Macedonia, Bosnia, and Kosovo. Rama, at the end of his speech, addressed his interlocutors with a harmless, "I don't know if you've heard that Russia wants to unify their time zones since they have 9-hour difference between the two ends of the country." And then the story goes, the prime minister goes to Putin and says, "We have a problem. There was my family on vacation. I called them to say goodnight, but it was already morning with them. And then I called Olaf Scholz to wish him a birthday, but he said it would be the next day. And I called Xi Jinping to wish him a new year, but he told me it was still the old year." At that, Putin replies, "Yeah, it happened to me too. I called Prigozhin's family to offer condolences, but the plane had not taken off yet." Yeah. So that's a remarkable story, because the joke actually highlights how premeditated and how much blood Putin likely has on his hands regarding Prigozhin. Like, we don't know, but nobody was really surprised that what happened to Prigozhin happened to Prigozhin, right? So the jokes illustrate something that we kind of know to be true. I showed this one in class. This was Ronald Reagan back in the 1980s telling a joke about the Soviet Union and how the system works. And I've been telling you, and I'm probably going to do a video just on this topic, about how Russia is re-Sovietizing, right? So just listen to what Ronald Reagan has to say about jokes about the Soviet Union.
But I just want to, I can't resist. I'm supposed to quit right here. But, yes. But in view of the fast things that I just said, I don't know whether you know it or not, but I have a new hobby. I am collecting stories that I can actually prove are told among the Russian people. They make them up themselves, they tell them between themselves, reveals they got a great sense of humor, and they've also got a little cynical attitude about things in their country. And one of these stories, the one I'm going to tell you, I told to General Secretary Gorbachev, and he laughed. The story was an American and a Russian arguing about their two countries, and the American said, "Look, in my country, I can walk into the Oval Office, I can pound the president's desk and say, 'Mr. President, I don't like the way you're running our country.'" And the Russian said, "I can do that." The American said, "You can?" He says, "Yes. I can go into the Kremlin to the General Secretary's office, pound his desk and say, 'Mr. General Secretary, I don't like the way President Reagan's running his country.'"
So that's pretty funny, but it illustrates the point that they really don't have the freedom of speech there that we enjoy in the United States. And so when you hear a joke like this, it's driving home a teaching point. There's a teachable moment in it. And yeah, but what's happening in Russia right now is just like that. If people can go to jail for saying war instead of special military operation, or holding up a blank sign, or whatever's going on, you see sign after sign that the Russians are re-Sovietizing in pretty much every way except ideology. Okay, that's all that I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed those two jokes. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the coffees, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.